Hi there, David here from daviddumaisaudio.com, and in this video, I'll be breaking down my redesign of the nightmares from the game God of War. Hi there and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here and are a sound designer, I have a little gift for you. It is my Sound Designer's Starter Pack. It's a little sound pack of various sound effects that you can use on your commercial projects or just your personal projects. I put together various different sounds, monster sounds, magic sounds, spell sounds, UI sounds, you name it. There's a whole bunch of sounds in there. I'll put a link in the description. It's absolutely free and just a gift from me to you. All right, I'll be going over what sounds I used, how I created them and layered them and processed them. Plus, make sure you stick around because I'm going to show you how I used a binder to create one of the prominent layers in this redesign. All right, with that said, let's jump in. All right, so here we are inside of Reaper, and to get started, we're just going to have a listen to the original sound here from the original game so that we have a reference to go by, and then we'll go back and do the redesign. So here is the original game audio. And let's have a listen to my little redesign here. All right, let's just have a listen to the nightmare sound here on its own. By the way, just for those who might not know, the nightmare is this little flying creature here. So let's just have a listen in isolation. All right, so that is the sound. Very clicky, very high-pitched, and very kind of rhythmic. So let's see how I created that. All right, so the first thing you'll notice here is on the group bus here, I have two plugins. I have Recenter and Uber Loud. I'm just going to turn these off for now, and we'll come back and turn these on later at the end of our design here. All right, let's start here with our first layer. Let's have a listen, and then we'll break it down. All right, so for this layer, I decided to try my hand at creating a creature sound using just my mouth. And I was kind of following a similar design technique I did when I created my bird sound effects. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put it in the cards above. But basically, I was creating these noise sounds with my mouth. They sound kind of like this. And then pitched up, now they sound like this. Right, so you get this squeaky noise kind of like mouse kind of noise. So if I play it now. So that was a good starting point for me. That's what I started with. Next, I added Uber Loud because I wanted to bring out certain frequencies, especially the mids and the highs. Sounds like this. Next, I added Portal. This was to add some space and just extra depth to the sound. You'll notice for this track here, I'm also modulating two parameters. One is the volume and one is the wet, dry knob from Portal. Not very much, but it's there. All right, let's go on to the next layer here. This is the second layer. So another rhythmic layer. This one is more noise-based, so let's break it down. All right, so the way I created this layer is I recorded my exercise bike, and what I did was scrape the metal on the side of the bike. It sounds like this. And then I just added a loop point here so that it goes back and forth. I added a unison here. So it kind of really blurs the sound, and then I pitched it up by 24 semitones, as you can see right here. And that's how you get this aggressive creature sound. So next, let's look at the effects I added here. I added Uber Loud, again, to boost some of the mids. M Transformer, this is a preset with a bit of spectrum here. Manipulator, I brought down the pitch. It gives it that very rhythmic effect. And next, an EQ just to shape the sound, cut out some of those and boost some of the highs. So together with the first layer, this is what we have so far. It's a good start. Let's go on to our next layer here. So this one was going to be more of a creature vocal based layer. So let's see how I created that. All right, so the way I created this one was, again, using that same technique as I showed before. Using my mouth, I made this strange sound. I pitched it up two octaves, sorry. And you get this high-pitched creature sound. Next, I had a manipulator here. Just to change the format a bit, I printed it out, and now this is what we get. I modulated the volume here a little bit in the middle, just so that it keeps the creature sound interesting. It never sounds kind of monotone. That's it. Let's go on to our fourth layer here. Let's have a listen. So again, a rhythmic vocal quality here. Let's break it down. Again, same technique. This one I made some weird sounds with my mouth, and I was also like slapping the sides of my face so I can get some extra textures and sounds in there. Sounds like this. Pitched up two octaves, sounds like this. I printed it out, sounds like this. I then put on M Transformer Vocal Shaper. This is a preset just to shape out a bit of the vocals. So I removed some of the airiness and some of the highs here. So now all together, this is what we have so far. A lot of highs and some tonal elements in the sound. Next, let's go on to our second last layer here. I think this was actually a copy of this previous layer that I did. All right, and this again, it was created in a similar way as I did all the other ones, just with my mouth pitched up. Added some effects here, uber loud. It was really meant to complement this layer here. Now with all our layers so far. So far it sounds pretty good, but we're still missing that lower end, that body of the sound. And that's where this binder sound came in. So let's have a listen to this one. So for this layer, it was I wanted to create something that was, again, like I said, more bodied sound. So the way I created that was with a binder. And what I did is I just took a piece of cardboard and I rubbed it down the center spine of the binder. And that's how I got this sound here. That's how I got that sound. And then I just pitched it up. So you get this higher pitched sound. So with that sound then, I just printed it out here, added uber loud, and this is what I got. I pushed a lot of the mids and I even modulated some of the lows. Let's have a look. Right here, I'm modulating the lows a bit just so it doesn't stay stagnant and it doesn't get too bassy at these points here. And if we listen to the creature sound, the nightmare sound, without this layer, it sounds like this. And it sounds okay, it sounds good, but it just feels like there's something missing. But with this layer in now, it just helps to sell the clickiness and the rhythm a lot more, at least in my opinion. All right, so where this final layer really shines is when we go to this master bus here. So I'm gonna turn on uber loud, and this is a processing that goes across all of these tracks, and I boosted the mids here, and it really helps to bring out this layer. So let's have a listen without it, and then I'll turn it on. All right, so it's okay, and with it on, it just really brings out those mids, this clicky track here. All right, the final thing that I added here was recenter. And what this is doing, I use this basically to modulate it so that I can move the nightmare around as it's moving here. So you'll see here, I'm modulating the pan. So let's have a listen. And that's it. This is how I created this nightmare sound. All right, so that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful and valuable. If you want to see more of the technique that I used in this video, make sure to check the cards here where I created a whole video sharing this technique, going over like bird sounds and how I created these bird sounds using this similar technique. I go more in depth in that video. So if you're more interested in knowing a bit more about it and how you can do it yourself, check that out. All right, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll see you in the next video.